It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Oh, it's my favorite time of the week. It's baby talk time. Now, a child's birth is often accompanied with a whole new set of challenges. One of these challenges is trying to figure out whether you have a fussy baby or whether your baby is susceptible to allergies. Are food allergies among kids on the rise? And if they are, what is causing them? So on today's Baby Talk, Paediatric dietitian Kath Megaw and occupational therapist Meg Faure help us to navigate the do's and don'ts and when it comes to allergies and feeding babies. And something that I, as a dad and with, alongside Monica and as mom, am struggling with right now, because it seems that every single time she eats fish, because we're breastfeeding exclusively, he seems to get a rash. I'm like, but how is that possible? Is it as a result of... But we'll get to that, we'll get to that. That's part of the questions that I want to ask. But is it true, ladies, that allergies seem to be on the rise?
Yeah, no, it definitely is. We've seen an increase over the last kind of 50 years increasingly, and we think that might be due to some environmental factors. There are a lot more pollutants in their space. We're also sterilizing things so much that our babies' normal immunity systems are now trying to find something to fight. So they're fighting things that actually are not problematic, like normal food.
Yeah.
So we're definitely seeing that. And, you know, we also have seen in the last few kind of 10 years or more, seen a trend towards introducing solids later, and some solids actually have to be introduced earlier to prevent allergies. So there's been a lot of factors that have caused this increase over the time in allergies.
Yeah. So we're actually saying that there is such a thing as, let's say, overprotective parenting that could result in your child being allergic to something because you're trying to keep them away from every single germ out there possible.
Yes, that definitely plays a role, and I think overprotective parenting extends to the fear of feeding and exposure in yourself during your pregnancy while you're breastfeeding, avoiding foods. And I think as a medical profession, we really made people very fearful of don't eat peanuts during your pregnancy, don't eat fish when you're breastfeeding, etc., etc. Whereas that's such an important thing and a brilliant way to expose your babies to the allergen food so that their bodies get used to those foods.
So if you do have a very fussy baby, they're constantly just niggling, like, for instance, Phoenix is like that right now. At like 7 o'clock in the evening, he's... and then you try and talk to him and figure it out. How do you what checklist do you go through until you get to the point where you go, maybe it's an allergy?
Yeah.
Are there things you need to check first?
Well, what you've just mentioned is a very good point. He's fussy at 7 o'clock in the evening, that kind of late afternoon, 5 to 8 o'clock, which is very classic for little ones under 12 weeks of age.
Okay.
And if that's happening, it's very unlikely to be allergy-related, because if it was allergy-related or illness-related, it would be happening throughout the day and night. So that's one of the tests you can, like one of the litmus tests you can use. If your baby's okay for most of the day, but has that classic colicky period from 5 to 8 in the evening, it's very unlikely to be an organic issue. If, however, your baby is always fussy after every meal, and there are and after every feed, and there are other indications, like they're not thriving, or you know that they've got these extensive rashes and that they're really not responding, and they're fussy throughout the day, then you might want to have a look at something organic like an allergy.
Okay. We do have a caller on the line. I believe Tasha is on the line. Good morning, Tasha.
Good morning, how are you?
Very well. Thank you so much for your call. What's your question?
Okay, morning, docs. I just need to find out, my baby is 10 weeks old, and we need to find out, he's got a bit of a rash at the back of his neck, but it also seems as if it's a little bit fluidy. So my concern is it eczema? What can it be? Because it's getting a bit almost too much now. He isn't very niggly, but it does seem to be watery.
Okay, yes, I think I know exactly what you're talking about, because Phoenix had the same thing as well. So 10-week-old, congratulations, we're in the same boat. It's exciting.
Same age babies.
That's cute.
So yeah, the rash at the back of the neck, and it's clear liquid.
Yeah, so that's quite likely not to be eczema. It's more likely to be a heat rash, and so that's probably what she needs to look at. You know, we would see eczema more likely on other parts of the body, but if she is concerned, then I would go and see the pediatrician, because
definitely.
any skin condition or any condition in a baby, particularly under 12 weeks of age, you should really go and see the doctor. So I would say it's unlikely to be a heat rash, but she should go and check it out.
Especially if it's seeping, it would be important that she does see a ped, because it could also be the detergent she's using in the clothing that's irritating him. So there's a number of the soap she's using to wash him. There's a number of factors. So it would be good just to tease it out and not just to leave it.
In the meantime, is there something that she could possibly do at home if, let's say, that rash is maybe a little bit itchy, a home remedy or a home treatment?
Yeah, I mean, Kath mentioned something very important there. The soaps that she's using to wash her baby's clothes are very important. She needs to look preferably for an enzyme-free detergent and potentially also for one that's specific to babies. But I don't think we would be recommending putting anything on that rash until she'd seen a doctor.
Yeah, definitely.
First point of call, go and see
I
your doctor.
definitely
All right, ladies, I'm going to ask you to stay with us for a little while longer for us to continue this chat. When we come back, we talk about the more common food allergies and how you can recognize them in your baby as a parent. It's Baby Talk!
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Baby Talk Time. And joining us this morning, Meg Faure, occupational therapist and co-author of Pregnancy Sense, as well as Kath Megaw, paediatrician and dietitian. Thank you very much for joining us. It's always so insightful and exciting to talk to you about these very important topics, especially in my life when I think about where I am. Talk to me about the most common food allergies that are out there and how you identify them in your baby.
In your baby's going to probably the most common will be cow's milk protein. Second would probably be a soya protein allergy. And then your possible wheat-based ones. And then obviously as they get older, you'll look at the peanuts and eggs, they could play a role. So the cow's milk protein allergy will kind of rear its head quite early on, either if the baby has been exposed to a cow's milk-based formula, and often it's a gut-related issue. So they will have explosive stools, be very uncomfortable. They might have blood in their stools, which is a definite sign of a cow's milk protein allergy. So those are little red flags that a mom would need to look at and then take her baby to see the pediatrician and look at that. Breastfed babies can also have cow's milk protein allergy because mom ingests cow's milk.
Okay.
And so the cow's milk protein will go through her breast milk to the baby. And in babies that are very allergic to cow's milk protein, mom would have to cut out cow's milk protein from her diet so that she could continue breastfeeding if her baby has an allergy.
Okay, so let's tackle this quickly because, as I was saying earlier on, my little baby is starting to kind of react to when fish is eaten. So we're not quite sure whether the reaction is to a fish allergy. Are we saying that if that should happen, mom should stop eating fish? Or are we saying keep on eating it so that baby can possibly develop an immune system towards?
So it depends on the reaction. So if a baby would have blood in their stools when a mom has cow's milk protein, because that means that the gut then is being hurt. When something bleeds, it's being hurt. We would remove it for a period of time and then slowly mom would start to reintroduce it to allow her baby to gain tolerance towards that. If, like in your case, as you described, whenever your partner eats the fish and you notice that your little one develops a rash and you think it might be linked, because the rash comes and goes and it's not causing harm, we would say to continue eating fish and include in it to allow your baby to build tolerance to fish.
We've got a caller on the line. I love getting calls because it means everyone's engaged in the conversation. All right, all the way from Cape Town, I am speaking to...
Marze.
Hello, Marze. Thank you so much for the call. What is your question?
My question is, I've noticed like a month ago already, my daughter, she's 11 months old, she has a bad breast smell. But I want to know why, what's the reason. Because she breastfeeds and she has 1 bottle a day. And she has a normal food time. So I'm not sure because it's very, very smelly.
Okay.
Yeah, so a smelly breath can be due to some sort of infection. So she might have some adenoids that might be a little bit inflamed. She might have tonsillitis. She might have something to do with those areas.
Yes.
Kath just mentioned thrush as well, which the mum can then look inside the mouth and look for little white patches on her tongue or her mouth. And if she's a little bit irritable from when she eats, it could be thrush as well. And then it could be, if she's got teeth already coming through, it's unlikely to be cavities, but cavities do cause bad breath as well. But the mum can just, kind of brush the teeth, even with a little bit of toothpaste on her finger if she's not getting it any other way. But if it's sudden, anything in a baby where there's a change that is a little bit ominous,
Yes.
we would actually recommend going to see a doctor. It's probably nothing, but I would go and check it out.
Yeah, definitely. And I think possibly mom would need to look at like probiotics. They sometimes can help play a role, like if the gut needs a little bit of help with the balance of the bacteria in the gut, a probiotic can help. But as Meg said, if it's a sudden onset, something that's come out the blue and it sounds like it's quite pronounced,
Yes.
I would definitely first point of call go and just rule out the medical stuff.
Okay.
And
all right.
then you can look at the more natural approach.
Thank you so much for that call. Really, really appreciate it. Great question. If we could compress the next two questions, we'll end off with the baby show happening. We have a call on the line. Let's rather take the call first. More importantly, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Hi, thank you so much for the call. Who am I speaking to?
You're speaking to Darren.
Okay, Taryn, go ahead with your question.
Hi, good morning. I would like to know, my baby daughter is for 5 months. She's turned 5 months on Monday. But since born, she's been itching from her ears and her nose. So I don't know what it is, and it keeps her out of her sleep. So I want to know, as a mom, I'm a stay-at-home mom, I want to know what can I do about it.
Excellent question. So itching the nose and the ear since pretty much birth, like you said, it's disturbing the sleep
Yes,
pattern.
both ears.
Both ears. All right, let's talk
Yeah.
So
about
she
that.
obviously is uncomfortable. Something is bothering her.
Yeah.
She's, I assume, at the age of 5 months, she's had a number of pediatrician visits and clinic visits. So obviously nothing has been picked up from that point of view. Again, I would look like we spoke earlier on about the detergents that are being used in the laundry. She could be sensitive to that. It could be an environmental allergen that is irritating her. So possibly, again, next time she does, probably coming up for her 6-month check now,
Yes.
maybe make it a little bit earlier, go and speak to her ped about that, and just look at, is there a cream that she could use, and what else could be causing it. I'm not sure whether she is exclusively breastfed or whether she's on formula.
Yes,
whether
she
started.
is. No, she's not on formula.
Okay.
She is
All right.
breastfeeding.
Okay, yeah.
All right, but thank you very much for the call. Unfortunately, we have run out of time. What I'm going to do, Meg, is encourage people to follow you on social media at Meg Faure, MEGFAURE, and they can chat to you about, especially what we're going to be talking about, weaning your child and introducing solids earlier on and how that might help to counter the allergy topic that we were talking about. And also very, very importantly for people to go out there and get their tickets for the baby show that's taking place from the 28th until the 30th of September at the Kailami International Convention Center. Meg, you'll be speaking on the 29th on various topics. And I know that on social media, you're also very active in telling people about that. So thank you very much for joining us. Really appreciate it. Love Baby Talk. Can we do it again next week?
Absolutely, yes.
Can't wait.